Hey everybody, I'm Katallina, and today we're going to talk about episode 9 of A Journey Through Another World, Raising Kids While Adventuring. If today's episode had any kind of central theme, I think that it would clearly be the importance and the way that we distinguish family and other forms of important personal bonds. Because we meet a lot of new people in this episode, and we actually find out a lot more advancement about some of the characters we've been following, and it's all been pretty interesting. First up, we find out that Takumi has obtained a new position, which is that he is now Seal's disciple. And of course, Takumi is all like, what's this about? And he thinks he's gonna get wind powers and stuff, but no, his skills are in nurturing and education, which makes perfect sense because he's been spending all of his time either looking after Alan and Elena or to help increase the cooking in this new world. And apparently he's been doing a really amazing job because up until he came along, the way that food was made in Atildia, or whatever the heck the name of the place is, hadn't changed in several hundred years. So he's definitely making some advancements there. Since he's making all of these fantastic advancements, he's also garnered the notice of the fire god, who has sent him a magical creature as a reward, along with what we're going to eventually see are some new fire spells. We didn't get to see that in this episode, but hopefully we'll get to see how that goes down going forward. It was interesting seeing how that kind of went over and how Seal felt about that, because Seal feels kind of crappy because Takumi is all like, yeah, wind and water can't do everything, and Seal's just like, thanks. I can't entirely blame him. I mean, he's a god, he has his own perspective and everything, and for the most part I tend to like Seal's character, so I'm gonna extend him some grace here because, I mean, from his perspective, yeah, that would suck to hear. But on Takumi's end, I can understand why he would like access to fire magic. The introduction of the lion that is sent by the fire god, that Takumi ends up naming Vector, which I thought was really funny, because I'm thinking of like how vector art works, which is definitely amusing, was pretty cool. And I love the fact that he's just trying to talk normally to them, but he's so big and his roar is so loud and extensive that he is just vibrating things. But we eventually find out that he's actually very sweet and kind, and he totally fits in, at least so far, with the party. He does do one thing that was kind of questionable, though. He finds this vampire lady lying on the ground, and he drags her back to us. And Takumi is like, no, you can't eat things. And he wasn't trying to eat her, he was trying to help her, but it was still really funny and cute. The vampire, Vivi, was actually pretty funny as well, because she kind of goes in a different direction than the rest of this show really seems to go down, because, like, she's the spy, she is on the hunt trying to find out what this guy is doing, as far as, like, he has this fiance and it looks like he might be cheating on her, and she finds evidence of it, which again ties back to how I was saying this episode is all about interpersonal relationships. And then she gives Takumi 2 different aphrodisiac potions, and the kids are like, can we drink them? And it's like, no. Because of course they can't, because oh my lord. But that was definitely a weird twist I didn't see coming, but it did get a good chuckle out of me because it was legitimately funny. Another really cool thing that we see in this episode is we actually meet the lord of this area that we've gone to, and it turns out that we were actually like withheld a bit of information, because this character that we are meeting here is actually the brother of one of the characters that we befriended in the first town. And yeah, the guy is all like, oh, you know my brother, and it's like, wait, what? And then it all gets explained and everything. And the kids keep wanting to like kick him, like not out of malice, but because one of the guys said they could kick someone else if they misbehave. And so they're trying to extend this onto this guy, and Takumi's just like, no, because oh my goodness, that would be a disaster. Then he has to figure out a way to explain what's happened with the kids and what they're doing and everything. And it's still awkward because, I mean, the person they were told they can kick is actually the captain of the guard in this other town. And we saw that earlier, and it was legitimately humorous, but explaining it to this guy who wasn't there is definitely an awkward proposition. The last thing we need to talk about, of course, are the revelations that we find out about Alan and Elena's father, which is basically that he's like a deadbeat scumbag dad. He is like the worst of the worst. He is like dog food as far as dad tears go. And yeah, it turns out that while the woman that he had the children with was pregnant and giving birth, he was off running around. Now, I mean, it's a complicated thing because on one hand, insofar as we know, there was no technical formal agreement between the two to have any kind of loyalty. I mean, you sleep with a god, you get what you get. I mean, that's just tradition for mythology. At the same time, though, it certainly makes him a character that is instantly unlikable to people who value loyalty and connection between people. So there is definitely that, and I definitely personally fall into that category because I'm very big on the idea of family and family ties. So yeah, bad dad. Overall, though, I thought this was a really good episode. There was definitely some humor and some interesting insights that we got here. It's kind of sad that we are slowly moving toward the end of the season. We're going to have to see what happens in the next few episodes to wrap this up, but I think it's done a really great job so far. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I'd love to know what you guys are thinking, so drop a comment below and let me know, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. See you later. Bye!